It's time for the Chips and Salsa Show.
The only show about Latinos for Latinos. And did we mention Latinos?
It's the Latísima.
Latinos come in all flavors, shapes, and sizes. You don't have to be Latino to enjoy chips and salsa.
Everybody loves.
Hey, it's time for another edition of the Chips and Salsa Show. Yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm just checking my mic here. Mr. Julian, am I okay? All right, very good. Today is Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. I'm Alice Lara, and with me, I'm one of your hosts. The other host is...
Don Jorge El Alacran.
We're so happy, Chipsters, that you joined us today. We've got a really fantastic show. As we do our little housekeeping and announcements, you might want to go ahead and share this if you're watching on Facebook. If you miss any part of it, you can always go to Central City Radio and watch it on that app. Download the free app, Central City Radio. You will not be disappointed because you can catch all our shows. I want to tell you, we have two guests coming up. The first one is going to be Preston Romero, and he is the Millennial Muchacho, right, George? George is really busy on his phone. And he's going to talk to us. He lives in California, so he's going to give us kind of a Cali conversation about the recall there and all things Californian, which is right next to Arizona, because we're very concerned about California. And you were from California, right?
Yeah, and it's sinking fast.
Oh, yeah. And then the next segment, we're going to have the latter part of the show. Our good friend Tim Foley's going to be back, and Tim Foley is with Arizona Border Recon. He's down at the border. He's going to give us a first-hand account of everything that goes on there. So it's going to be a really fantastic show. So wherever you are, don't go away, okay? We have a couple of announcements. We have the happy hour with the candidates, and that's going to be by My Women's Club, Greater Phoenix Republican Women. You're also a member, right?
Yep. Quack, quack.
And just to let you know, it's going to be August 20th from 4 to 7. It's filling up. I don't even know if you RSVP if you can get in because it's pretty full. But you know what? Do it anyway. That's Gallagher Sports Grill, 3220 East Baseline Road. You need to make your RSVP, though, with RSVP at gprw1958.org. Real quick, RSVP at gprw1958.org. That's Friday, August 20th, 4 to 7. We have a bunch of guests that are going to be there, candidate guests, and you won't want to miss it. I'll be there, and I would love to meet you if I haven't met you already. We also wanted to let you know there's some birthdays and anniversaries. I want to wish a happy 27th anniversary to Maria McDonald Birnbaum and her husband, Richard. She's a guest here. She works for the Susan B. Anthony Foundation. Wonderful Republican conservatives, very pro-life driven. And also, this is kind of a belated anniversary, but my sister-in-law, Leisha, and her husband, Benton McPherson, they had their anniversary on 8/8/88. August 8th, 1988, yeah. So happy belated anniversary. I couldn't remember if I did that yet. Actually, yesterday, our guest coming up in the second segment was Tim Foley's birthday. So, George, just remember to wish him a happy birthday when he's on.
Happy birthday, Tim.
And our good friend Kim Torres also. And then coming up this weekend on the 22nd is Martin Gonzalez's birthday.
Martin the Jelly Bean.
Yeah, Martin the Jelly Bean. And that's going to be on August 22nd. And we just want to make a quick mention of our new sponsor, George.
Frontera Communications, right?
Frontera Telecommunications. Yes, sir.
On 58th and
Thomas.
Great organization. They help you with your internet. They help you plan, good providers. They suggest things that you could do, things that you might not be aware of. And it's a great company, and we're proud to have them as one of our sponsors.
Very proud. So go down there, check them out. The actual address is 5802 West Thomas Road. It's inside the Ranch Market. They're in Phoenix. If you want to just call them, you can call them at 623-845-9411. Again, that's 623-845-9411. They offer cable TV services, cellular phone, home security, man, everything. Make your life easier. This is a deal like if you're looking for somebody, usually like you would have to call up a certain company and then you've got to spend time with them. Call them, check in with them first. They will check around for you and tell you, hey, maybe you should call these people.
And I like the fact that they're in the Ranch Market. You got a carne asada burrito, man, and it is good. And meet with them and visit with them at the same time. It's a win-win situation.
Right on. Oh, one more birthday I forgot. Our good friend Tony Valenzuela.
And my brother's birthday.
And your brother's birthday? And your brother's name is?
Miguel Ortiz.
Well, happy birthday, Miguel Ortiz.
And he there.
You got quiet there.
I don't think he's listening right now, but there's a surprise for him today. But anyway.
Oh, but never mind. Never mind, but happy birthday.
But happy birthday, Miguel.
Happy birthday, Miguel. We always like to do that. Okay, we're going to talk about Afghanistan. Oh, my goodness gracious. What a Biden blunder.
I was looking at this picture. That's what she said. I was busy, I was on the phone. 640 Afghans from Kabul were on the C-17 cargo jet, and I was kind of zooming in on that, and I see a lot of smiling faces there, and I see sad faces too because they're leaving their families behind. But this thing is crammed. It's a C-17 cargo, and it is crammed wall to wall with people. And they're going to have flights every day and a few times every day of planes, just stuff like this. And once they get on these planes, they are happy. They're happy because their lives have been saved, not their families, because they're going to be careful about mentioning who their families are. But they helped us. They interpreted for us. And some of them are U.S. citizens, too. So this is like a mercy flight. And the flights are going to Fort Bliss. A lot of the flights are going to Fort Bliss, where my son is stationed, and that's in El Paso. So they're going to have some kind of probably tent set up. Right now, they have tents set up for the border illegal border crossing. They made Fort Bliss a staging area, so now it's going to be a staging area for the Afghan citizens and repatriates to come to the United States to be repatriated, I guess.
They're going to be full up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
And it's one of the biggest air bases that we have. It's in Fort Bliss, but, it's daunting. The base has to put more resources in it, and they can take care of it because it's a big base. But
well, and already, they're trying to blame President Trump, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And
they make the soup the wrong way, and they blame him for burning the soup. I mean, he gets blamed for everything. But hey, this lies on the feet of the Biden administration. Make no mistake, the Biden administration shares this responsibility 100%. They did this without thinking, without planning, and they could have done it a lot smoother, a lot better. And they could have saved maybe 2 bases instead of just 1 base as they have there.
Oh, there's so many things, and especially what I'm very concerned about, they left all that equipment there.
Yeah.
Our equipment that they're going to use against us.
They're going to use that against us.
It's just horrible.
Mortars and crap like that where they can make bombs, and it's ridiculous. They do it all the time. They did that in Iraq.
We only have like 30 seconds, but is there anything that you can say Biden has done right in his 8 months?
No, because everything he's doing, he's listening to other people. He's not even really fit to be president, but he's president, and
well, we're
getting what the Democrats have dished out.
Oh
Crap.
My goodness! But that's one of our discussion points. We'll ask both our guests their opinion on that. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Preston Romero, millennial muchacho from California, having that California conversation. But don't go away and share this if you would. This is the Chips and Salsa Show on Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix. I'm Alice Lara with
Don Jorge.
Guac on some more. We'll be right back.
News Talk and podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix.
And now, back to more of the Chips and Salsa Show.
Which of the Latin countries are you from? The one with the Civil War, the one with the cocaine, or the one with the fancy hats?
We are back with the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Alice Lara here with
Don Jorge.
Every Tuesday at 4 p.m. on Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix. Thank you, chipsters, for tuning in. And one of our most favorite chipsters, and an original chipster, might I add, is our good friend Preston Romero, millennial muchacho. Welcome, Preston.
Hey, Alice. Hey, George. How's it going?
All right. Glad to hear from you.
Yeah, we're doing good. And let's see, we've come up with your official reference as a Sacramento-based political insider. He is in the belly of the beast of California. Oh my gosh, are you surviving?
Scratching and surviving, but things will get better here. We have a recall election coming up on September 14th, and hopefully we'll take up the trash that day.
Wow. Okay, so on that same point, Preston, I heard there were like 47 challengers.
Yeah, we have a really interesting system here that anybody and everybody who wants to run for governor to recall can. And 47 is a smaller number than the original 2003 recall, where I think there was 150 candidates. So we have a smaller plate to choose from, but our field got smaller with a candidate dropping out on Sunday from a heart attack, and so
Oh my
we're
goodness.
down to 46 candidates, including the sage of South Central, Mr. Larry Elder himself, who's leading the pack right now.
Yeah, he's leading in the polls pretty well, isn't he?
Yeah, his message, I think, resonates really well with Californians, and I think he's the man to do the job.
And then also, I thought just went out of my head about Larry Elder, but what about, how is Caitlyn Jenner doing?
Yeah, Miss Jenner did not register in the polls very well. I think they came in with about 4%, and then news broke that they were out of the country filming a reality show, and so whatever dream she may have had to be California's governor kind of went up in smoke there.
Oh, that's very, very interesting. Well, I really like Larry Elder. I think he's a strong candidate, but you have to win like a certain percentage, or there's probably a runoff. How does it work? How it work?
Yeah, so ballots went out yesterday, and every registered voter in California is going to get a ballot, and that's something you should watch out that might be coming to Arizona.
Even the dead.
So every person gets a ballot. There's two questions. Do you want to recall the governor, yes or no? And then the second question is, who do you want to replace the governor?
Well,
so Californians will get two questions and a whole lot of choices.
So what if it passes? What if, I mean, it probably won't pass, but what if it were to happen that say, oh no, never mind, we don't want to recall, then it would just make the election null and void. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. So that could happen where everybody rejects the recall and the second question is kind of invalidated. But the crazy thing is that you go ahead and you vote for the recall, it passes, and that whoever wins, out of all those candidates, whoever gets the most votes is the governor, regardless of if it's 18% of the vote or 20% of the vote, whatever it is. The person who got the most votes on the second question becomes governor. So it's a pretty interesting system, and I'm interested to see how it all folds out for us.
So it's non-political. I mean, it's not Democrat or Republican. It's everybody.
Everybody's in the pool to run.
Everybody, there's registered Democrats, Republicans, Green Party candidates. I think we have one Libertarian. And we have a thing here called no party preference, or NPP. So there's no independents, just no party preference folks. So everybody's in the pot. Everybody gets a vote there.
No primary. I mean, so this is not like a primary. This is the election.
This is the election. This is the show.
So you're telling me Larry Elder gets 18%, but that beats everybody else's percent out. He wins.
Correct.
Wow.
So Arnold didn't put his name so he can say, I will be back.
Yeah, we're kind of... Yeah, he won't be back. It's
I know.
True. Well, we're watching that, and of course, Arizona is always interested in California. I was just having a conversation with Julian Allison, creator and founder of Central City Radio, Behind the Glass. Thank you, Julian Allison. Woohoo! And we were talking about how, a lot of Californians are moving, obviously, to Arizona. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Preston is originally from Arizona. So we hope when he comes back to visit, he'll be in the studio with us. But I really am thinking there are a lot of Californians who come here because we are conservative. What's your sense of that, Preston?
Yeah, I have a lot more sympathy for the hardworking families that didn't really have a choice but to leave the state and go to great places like Arizona. And hopefully the people that have left here will learn to leave their politics here, and that they don't, mess up Arizona or mess up Texas or all these other states they're moving to. But for kind of the more wealthier liberal people that left here, I fear for those states that are going to get those people, because high taxes, overregulation, just those issues are very problematic here. And a lot of people were able to run away from them, and we're here to stay and fight. And that's what this recall is about, is staying and fighting and hopefully making California the Golden State once again.
And I'm so glad that you are, because, I know George is originally, you're from California, used to live there, and I visited there a lot of summers as a kid, and I still have relatives there. And it was always a wonderful place to go with everything, beaches and great places to visit, and so exciting. And it just breaks my heart when I think what it's turned into. So I want to give you praise for staying to fight.
Yeah, it's a beautiful state, and I just don't see us surrendering it to any special interest or any cause that hopes to just take a great place like this and turn it down the gutter. So we're here to finish the fight and fix the problems we can and do it smart and do it right.
The other part that you guys really have a big issue with is kind of the border disorder. It's been so overrun with a lot of illegal immigration that's occurred there. I don't know how you fight your way out of that. What do you think? I always think that there's hope, but that's a big issue there in your state.
Yeah, the fight gets harder because of the incentives that they put out here for folks. So if you're an illegal or undocumented person coming across the border, certain organizations, they're very open-armed and welcoming to give you a handout, and there's a lot of money and a lot of aid and a lot of resources that are going to people who are fresh over the line, that resources Americans could be using, but they're given to illegal aliens, and benefits and handouts and those kinds of things. It just creates a pull factor and makes it more accommodating for people to come here, break the law, and benefit from our system. And so it's kind of hard to combat the problem when there's such a pull factor created by that.
And California used to have a bunch of money, but it must be really hard on your state budget, I would think. Yeah,
it'll crunch the budget. Good programs will get lost, but taxes will get raised, and hard-working families have to suffer for a political agenda.
Yeah. George, I'm sorry, you have a question?
The homeless, because California has one of the largest homeless situations. You got the homeless situation, and now you have the illegal immigration situation. Do you see a lot of illegal immigration coming into the homeless communities there and kind of trying to blend in that? And how do you see the homeless crisis, because it is a crisis, ending in California? Is it going to continue? Are they going to put more resources? What's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think California is home to about 25%, probably a little bit more since last time checking, of the country's homeless population.
25%.
25%, and a lot of that's focused down in the southern part of the state. But up here, just the other day, I went down a street that I haven't been down in months just because of the pandemic and just going in and out. But going along the street even further than I had before, there was more tents, more cars, more campers than I'd ever seen before. And the problem, I'm not really noticing if there's a blend-in of illegal immigration mixing with the homeless problem. It's a huge crisis, a huge problem, and they've been throwing money at the problem, but it's just not going as well as it should. And so it's more of a mental health problem than it is kind of like a crime problem. And so a lot of the issues that are going on here, they're not being looked at in a smart way. So it's more, let's throw money at the problem and hope it solves itself. Let's look at solutions rather than actual action.
What about illegal immigration adding to the mix of this? Do you see that, or?
I haven't noticed. When you see Americans on the streets, homeless, needing the help, hungry people, sick, mentally ill people that need the help, it's kind of hard to really look past that. So I don't know if there's too much crossover. It's just very depressing and upsetting that we've allowed this to happen in the United States, and we've allowed this to happen in what our dear governor likes to sell as the 5th largest economy in the world. It's a huge problem that doesn't need a partisan solution. It just needs a real solution.
A real solution. You're right. I heard they were building like mini house community where it's like a community, a gated community with mini houses, and they were offering that to the homeless. And some homeless were turning that down, but some were accepting it. Have you heard anything about that? I saw it on one of the social media.
There's always some kind of plan for kind of these like tiny house communities, but what the state of California did in response to the homelessness and the pandemic was to lease hotels and motels in different parts of the state. It was called Operation or Project Home Key, and the idea was to get homeless people up and off the street and into some place to get them services. A lot of those folks they don't want to sign on to the agreements of, you can't have your drugs, you can't have your drinking. A lot of folks, they won't let them have their animals or their pets. And as a pet lover myself and a dog owner myself, I could understand where that would be hard. So a lot of people, there's the help, but they just don't want to do the things that they need to do to get the help. And it just snowballs.
With the Afghanistan effect, I'm wondering, because like George was just saying that what they plan to do is ship a lot of people they're flying out of Afghanistan into the base in Fort Bliss, Texas. That's in El Paso. And I'm sure that California will get its share too. So it makes me wonder that can be an impact on the homeless as well. I mean, it boggles my mind how this is all going to be sustainable. And also, I don't know what candidate that you're following, but the Republican candidates that are running, should they win, have they talked about this? Are there any plans on how to deal with it?
I haven't really looked too much on the state side of what the response to Afghanistan would be. Just as an American and as someone, I just turned 30, so all this stuff started when I was about 10 years old in elementary school.
Oh, yeah.
And so having seen this crisis in Afghanistan unfold over 20 years, I've had friends who've had, older brothers, uncles, dads who've either been injured or killed in the line of duty. And for what? Is a lot of the questions we're asking ourselves. Is all for what?
Yes.
And so we've seen the last 20 years unfold in the last 2 days. And so that's been the most upsetting and shocking part about Afghanistan. So I'm not sure what they're planning on doing on stateside, but I just hope that if we do decide to bring folks here to California, that they're properly vetted, that they're the folks that we'd like here, that embrace our ideas of Western culture and values and meld right in with us to our melting pot instead of potential problems.
I don't know if you watch. Oh, we just have 1 minute. Okay. Anyway, 30 seconds, George.
They have a mask mandate now that they reinstated over there. How's that going, in your opinion?
Yeah, mask mandates are fun. A lot of folks are pretty respectful of it and doing about their business, but in some parts of the state, it's fairly optional. Just depends on more of the rural parts and in the cities. They are mandating, but no one's been forced too severely to do anything they don't want to. But masks are strongly encouraged.
Wow, it's been great. We're going to have you back when we have a little more time. Thank you, Preston Romero, Millennial Muchacho. He's the political insider.
We miss you.
We miss you. Come visit soon, okay?
I'll miss you guys. I'll be back. A shout out to my hometown back in St. John's, Arizona, Apache County. Love you guys. Thank you, George and Alice. You guys are great. Hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Preston. Take care. And we'll be right back with more of the Chips and Salsa show here on Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix. Don't go away. This segment of the Chips and Salsa show is being brought to you by Frontera Telecommunications, our new sponsor. Yeah, baby.
Podcast, Talk Central Phoenix.
It's time for the Chips and Salsa show. Vámonos.
I love Chips and Salsa. Can I listen too?
You got it. Take it away. Yes, sir.
And we are back with the Chips and Salsa show. I'm Alice Lara here with
Don Jorge.
We're here every Tuesday at 4 p.m. We are two former Democrats, no longer. We are Republicans and conservative, unapologetically.
And a past Californian.
30
years ago, I was in California.
Wow.
30 years.
And that's how old Preston is. He just turned 30.
I know. And I went to Cal State Long Beach there. And I was in Medcha. I was so involved out there. And
you were almost a communist. Oh, my God.
I know. It's sad.
We are going to talk to someone who is definitely not a communist. That's for sure. We welcome back our good friend, Mr. Tim Foley, who is with Arizona Border Recon. He is right on the border, and we thought, you know what? We need someone to give us a first-hand account of the border and what's going on down there. Right, George?
That's right.
So welcome, Tim Foley. How the heck are you?
Dodging bullets.
Hi. What's happening, guys? Long time no speak.
I know. It's crazy. And you know what? I had texted him, and we missed you. You were here during the week, but you had to go back while we had the show. So I said, well, let's just do a little phoner. We can do that.
I hear a lot of fentanyl coming across.
Is that right? Did you hear? I don't know if you heard George. George said he hears it.
Up over there, old man.
George said he hears, and this is a big problem. There's a lot of fentanyl that's been coming across our border.
Oh, yeah. What was it? 4 days ago over in say that she drove, they made the largest bust ever coming across.
That's right.
They got 2,000 pounds of fentanyl.
Wow.
Whoa.
They said it was worth, and that wasn't including the meth and the heroin and everything else that was in that load also.
Yeah.
But, yeah, down where we're at, it's coming across on the backs, and with monsoon season, it's making it harder for us because there's water everywhere, and when we have water everywhere, we also have vegetation growth everywhere, so it's like a jungle down on the border here.
Wow.
And myself and Brandon, who's my number 2, we were out a couple days ago, and we started tracking these guys, and I guess they knew we were behind them because what they did was they dropped into a wash. They didn't care. They were already wet, and all of a sudden, follow the tracks, and they go in the wash. It's like, okay, these guys are getting smart. So they're walking through the water, and so we followed the wash for, I don't know, half mile, 3/4 of a mile, and then saw where they popped back up out of the wash. And so they're very good at what they're doing, and they're getting all kinds of stuff through. And today, first time in a long time, I saw a immigration bus, one of the big ones down here, because down here, out in the mountains, basically the group sizes bringing the dope across and everything are anywhere 8 to 12. So they can take those out in the Border Patrol pickup trucks. But when you're bringing in buses, there's things happening where the groups are getting bigger, and it's...
Well, that's pretty bold, Tim. A whole bus? My goodness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's your standard... I mean, just like you would see on the city street, basically, but it had bars on the windows, and it was full.
Wow.
Wow.
And then, if you look over in Texas, they just broke a one-day record, and they broke another 1-hour record. In 1 hour, they picked up 1,000 people in the Rio Grande Valley, and the one-day record was 4,000 in 24 hours, and that happened to coincide with the same day that the open border DHS advocate Majorca, or however you say his
Mallorca.
lame name. Yeah, that was the same day he was down at the Rio Grande Valley, and 4,000 came across. Well, I guess they wanted to meet up with them or something.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting coincidence. Of course, there are no coincidences, right? So we should remind the audience that you are down at the Arizona border, and tell them about Arizona Border Recon and what you do down there.
Well, I've been down here now 12 years. I came down after trying to make a living after the 2008 fiasco where not a single banker went to jail. And that's when I said, you know what, I'm done. It's a screwed up system. So I came down here to see if the narrative of don't worry, it's safe and secure. And so I got down here and went, you're kidding me. And so basically what we do when we're out here is I have trail cameras, and you can see some of what we see. I don't post everything because the cartel watches us. Mm-hmm. You can go to our YouTube channel, Arizona Border Recon, and you'll see some of what we see on the trail cam. So what we do is we'll go out there and we'll there's a dozen of my guys right now that are certified man trackers. And so we can read the story that's on the ground. So once we get out there and we start seeing the sign on the ground, then I'll start placing cameras in that area to see what type of activity it is. Is it just regular illegals coming across? Is it dope? Is it a combination of both? Is it armed scouts? What is it? And so the cameras will tell a story, and it'll also tell you times a day that they're coming through. And it used to be just sun up to sundown, but recently my cameras, I've got them coming through at 10:30 at night. I had a group of 12 going past the camera at a little past 1 o'clock in the morning, and it took them almost 3 minutes for them to get by the camera. The camera kept reloading because they were inching through. They couldn't see. And you could see they had their hands out in front of them, and I was just, wow, they're just coming at all times of day and night. And when we get the monsoons, they're coming through as soon as it starts raining, because Border Patrol is advised to get out of the mountains because of the monsoons. They're not allowed to drive in moving water. And so basically they know that, and they come piling through once it starts raining.
Oh, okay, so you said the Border Patrol is not allowed to drive in water. I mean, you'd think that they'd have more provisions for that. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I just posted a video from, I don't know, about 2 weeks ago. Me and Randy, my number 2, we went down to check cameras, and we videotaped going up one of the washes. I mean, there's water coming up over the hood of my four-wheel drive truck. I mean, it was quite the heart-pounding expedition that day. But we still do it, and we go out to where it's either too far for Border Patrol to go to, or they don't want to go to. And so we go out in those areas, because that's where usually most of your good, well, not good, I mean good in our eyes, good activity, but bad activity is happening.
How is the morale of the Border Patrol guys down there with this mess?
Pretty much shot to shit.
Yeah. And it's okay if you cuss, because, we're digital online radio, so that's okay. If somebody's watching, we don't have censors here. Because I understand, I was just watching TV, and somebody stepped down like a major person from the Border Patrol, and they caught, what's-his-face, Mayorkas, Mike, where he says, this is not sustainable. I mean, he's admitting it's not sustainable. I don't know how they intend to keep it.
And that is what we've been telling people for over 10 years.
Yes.
This is not about race, it's about sustainability. Since January of this year, enough illegals have come across the border to create the 10th largest city in the United States.
Yep.
Wow. I mean, would you just repeat that one more time, Tim, for our audience?
Since January to now, well, that was actually a couple of weeks ago, enough has come across illegally to create the 10th largest city in the United States. Enough came through, they're putting it right up against San Jose, California.
And I wanted our audience to hear that. We're going to go into our break. Can you hang with us for the last segment, Tim?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. All right. I wanted that to resonate with our audience. We'll be right back with more of the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Alice Lara with
Don Jorge.
Don't go away. We'll be back with Tim Foley from Border Recon. Everything you want to know about the border, especially the Arizona southern border. Go walk on.
This is the Valley's News Talk and Podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix. Talk and Podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix.
Okay, so I'm really confused because, my dad's Latino and my mom is white, so does that mean I can only listen to, half of Chips and Salsa?
That's the smartest thing I've ever heard anyone say about anything.
Yes, so we are back with, can you believe it, George, the last segment of the Chips and Salsa Show.
The last segment is going fast. I told people it was going to be a good show.
Absolutely. I'm Alice Lara here with
Don Jorge.
That's right. And thank you, Chipsters, for tuning in. And I know you have not been disappointed. We're talking right now with our good friend Tim Foley, who is down at the Arizona southern border.
Yep.
And he is with Arizona Border Recon, and he told us what that was about. And, gifts, information about that, George was reminding me during the break, if you need donations and maybe you want volunteers or somebody that'd like to help you out with that. And then also, don't let us forget to remind you to talk about your organization that you do for vets. So Border Recon, if somebody wanted to donate, where should they go? What should they do?
We have a website, ArizonaBorderRecon.org. Everything's there. I mean, you can see our rules of engagement, our standard operating procedures. We're very transparent about what we do. If you want to volunteer, there's a volunteer page. We have a donate page, because this is all, for the past 12 years, it's pretty much been self-funded. We do get a little bit of donations, and that pretty much helps with vehicle maintenance and fuel. That's our biggest expense down here, is fuel. And but it's all there on ArizonaBorderRecon.org, and we have a Facebook page under the same name, Arizona Border Recon.
Well, I would tell people to donate to help you with the fuel. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I would really encourage people to donate money to help with the fuel, because, as we know, fuel is up more than $1 from the former administration. So if you can do that, please help them out. Go ahead. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and when we ask for donations, what people don't understand is, ours goes through PayPal, and we're not asking for $1,000. We're not asking for $100. I mean, people can do a $1 or a $5 a month reoccurring donation. I mean, it's amazing, because our Facebook page has over 20,000 people following it, yet we get about $200 a month in donations. And so, it's an interesting. I know times are tough and everything, but in the past 12 years, I've probably sunk about $200,000 of my own money into this. I took out both of my pensions, cashed them out, and dumped it into this.
Wow. Well, congratulations. I think we need to make you our whole enchilada of the show, George, don't you?
That's right, because he does so much. Mm-hmm. He does so much, and he's our vanguard at the border. And thank you for what you're doing, Tim. You're doing great, and you have our support. You have our support. And someday I'll get to the border and see what you guys are doing.
We need to go down there, and check it out.
I was going to ask one question. Do you guys deal with the spotters that they have on the other side with binoculars and stuff that are watching your move and watching their people cross the border?
We got them. We got them in Arizona. I mean, you go to our YouTube channel. I did one. Me and my number 2, we went up a mountain. I was going, that's the mountain we need to go up. Wow. So we go up this mountain. As soon as I got to the top, I dropped back down as fast as I could. And he goes, what's up? I go, next hill over. And so we got behind some rocks, and the next hill over, there was 3 cartel with AK-47 standing on the next hill over from us, and I videotaped it with a handheld camera.
Because they can
afford
all that, right? They can afford it.
We're flying a drone, and we spot a solar panel on a hilltop. So we go over and check it out, and the guy steps out from under the tarp and points an AK at the drone.
Oh, my God.
Wow. So the dynamics down here are changing. They're becoming more brazen because Biden has neutered the Border Patrol, and so they're not afraid of anything. And
that's so sad.
They're very well armed, and that's one thing that I tell people, if they want to volunteer with us. This is not for everybody. I mean, most of my guys are former military or law enforcement. It's hours upon hours of sheer boredom, followed by moments of pure adrenaline. And like right now, it's brutal out here because the humidity down in there with all the vegetation, all the bugs are out, and oh God, it's what I do, and I love it. So,
well, and we can't thank you enough for it. And I need to ask our audience to offer up prayers for you guys too, and some good thoughts, because my goodness, you're in the. So it's a very dangerous situation down there. I don't want to forget to ask you about the great veterans things that you're doing down there. You're a veteran yourself, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much for your service, and you're continuing to serve.
Yeah, well, we took an oath, and it's a lifelong oath. It doesn't end when you get out. And so we started a veterans nonprofit organization because in the past couple of years, I've had some of my guys who were combat veterans have come to me, and out of the blue, and sit down next to me and goes, I just want to thank you. And I was like, what for? And they're going, you saved my life. And I said, how's that? And they're going, I was in a bad spot, I come back out of combat. There's, it's not what, I got a menial job, and this is what I love. This is what I can do. And so I said, well, if we can help a few, why can't we help more? And so we started azbrvets.org. There's a website. You can go there. There's a donate there. It's all tax deductible. It's a 501c3. And what we've done is we purchased 10 acres of land, and we're developing it slowly because, we can only go as far as the money we have. And we're up against the big boys like Wounded Warriors. So basically what we're doing is we're building up this 10 acres, and we're going to put little bungalows on it so veterans can get out of the city and come down and just stay, and see the stars and see the monsoons and the beauty and no noise and peace and quiet. The only noise you hear at night down here is the coyotes howling. And so
that is
we're trying to help more. We can't rely upon the government for anything. It's up to us. Nobody's coming to help.
You said it, Tim.
It's up to us.
Well, we got our last 30 seconds. I want to thank you, and we'll have you back on. Maybe when you're in town again, you need to come in for the whole hour and do the show with us because you have so much information to share. Thank you, Tim Foley with Arizona Border Recon.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you, Alice.
Okay.
Thank you, Alice, and thank you, George.
Great. Thank you, Chipsters, for tuning in to the Chips and Salsa Show here on Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix with Alice Lara and
Don Jorge. Be safe out there, Tim.
We'll be back Tuesday at 4 p.m. All right. Take care now and guac on, ladies and gentlemen.